Hi, this is Alana Hill, CEO and Principal Consultant of Two Hill Consulting Services. I wanted to summarize for you a presentation that I delivered recently in Lisbon, Portugal, at the International Conference on Diversity in Organizations, Community, and Nations. Now, in my presentation titled Why Feelings Aren't Enough, a balanced approach to getting buy-in to diversity initiatives within your organization, in this workshop, I challenged my participants to think about three very important questions when leading their organization from their current state to their desired future state. First and foremost, we spent a moment evaluating what the current state is, or making note that we need to understand what that current state is. Where is your organization? How far advanced are your equity and inclusion initiatives? Is diversity a bad word, or is diversity something that is fully embraced? And as a result of where you are now, well, what is the right next step? What is the right end goal? Is it inclusion? Is it integration of diversity, equity, and inclusion within your organization? Is it awareness, or is it simply compliance? Understanding where you are and where you're going is the very first step to leading any change initiative. And leading and sustaining diversity within organizations is just that. It's a change initiative, which means we have to understand the psychology of change, the emotions of change, what encourages, inspires, and in some cases requires people to accept change. So we started off with three questions. And these three questions are, do they support it? And the they is really important. We have to define who our stakeholders are. Who are we identifying as they? Who are we identifying as the individuals, teams, or the organization itself that we are wanting to improve where diversity is concerned? Who are they? Do they support it? How do we know? And then thirdly, what can we do about it? Do they support it? How do we know? And what can we do about it? I really wanted to center the discussion and to center this program on what we can do about it. But to start with what we can do about it, we do have to answer, do they support it? So where are they now? And how do we know? What measures do we have to understand where we are currently? Have we performed a sentiment analysis? Do we understand what the sense of belonging is within our organization? Do we know how far we need to go? And then what can we do about it? Is there resistance? What can we do about it? So this launches into the action. What can we do to help garner buy-in for our diversity initiatives? Well, just like any other change initiative, I have a strategy, I have a framework, and I have some principles. Let's start with some of the strategies. The first strategy is to lead with empathy. And now empathy is something that I talk a lot about as an emotional intelligence certified practitioner. It is really important that we not only understand our own emotions, but those of others. And that, in a nutshell, is what emotional intelligence teaches us. But it continues on to help us understand that we should also leverage those emotions to help drive performance. And as we lead with empathy, that means that we want to understand where our stakeholders are. What is it that might encourage, inspire, or allow them to move to where you want them to move? Remember, diversity in many places is change. So we want to not only lead with empathy, we want to be strategic and adaptable. That means that we want to, yes, play chess. We want to align with our organization's strategy. We want to ensure that any initiatives that we launch, that the timing fits within our organization's greater imperatives, that the budget is supported by our greater imperatives, and that it is helping to ensure the success and the health of our organization in the long term. So we want to be strategic, but we also need to be adaptable. Okay, so be strategic and adaptable. And the third is to move from tolerance to appreciation. Now, I talk often about, well, what it feels like to be tolerated. And many identities, at best, they say, well, we'll tolerate others. Within many religious communities, they'll practice religious tolerance. Well, I always want to encourage, especially our DEI champions, to move from tolerance to appreciation, to appreciate the varying perspectives. I mean, as a matter of fact, here we are promoting inclusion. Well, we have to model inclusion. So make sure that as you are leading the charge for diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives within your organization, that you are leading with empathy, meaning you understand or attempt to understand as much as possible the perspectives, the backgrounds, the challenges, even the communication style of your stakeholders. That you are being both strategic and adaptable. And as you're being strategic and adaptable, that means that you are being forward focused, you're planning well, but you're adapting to what changes may be happening in your market, in your organization, and in your department. And then thirdly, you are moving from tolerance to appreciation. You are modeling what true inclusion looks like by how you yourself engage with the stakeholders within your organization, how you yourself appreciate even some of those most resistant stakeholders who may give you feedback that you can incorporate into your strategy. So with these strategies, it is my sincere hope that you are able to not only garner the buy-in that you need for diversity within your organization, but that lights a fire across your entire industry. And as we talked in the conference, throughout the entire world. Go and be a world changer and garner buy-in for your initiatives because feelings just aren't enough.